Hey guys, welcome to the live Q&A session with Nadia from China Admissions. Right, so in this session today, I'm going to discuss some of the questions that you have submitted on our Insta story yesterday. And if you still have any other questions that you'd like to discuss together during this live Q&A session, you can just write it down on the comment bar and then we can discuss it together. Again, thank you so much for all the excitement. I'm happy to see all of your questions that went in since yesterday. I think there are about 8, 16, 16 plus 8, 24, 24 plus 6. There are about 30 questions that are submitted since yesterday, and thank you so much for all of your questions. I do believe everybody have a lot of questions about studying in China, about admissions to Chinese universities, about scholarships, about when will the border be open, or about internships maybe, about anything else. So if you have any questions related to admissions to Chinese universities, related to studying in China, related to admissions for next year, for example, any other questions related to the applications to Chinese universities, you can let me know. In case if you haven't submitted your questions yesterday, there are still time. You can just write your questions on a comment bar below there on the screen. Right. So I think we can discuss some of the questions right now because we have limited time, but there are plenty of questions from all of you. Then again, if you have any other questions, you can just write it down on the comment bar below. Let me know your questions, then we can discuss it together. Probably I will discuss everything in about 20-30 minutes, and then after that, if you still have any other questions, feel free to also contact us on our communication channel. You can contact us to email, or you can also DM us, or you can also send some of your questions to our WhatsApp message. Right, so the first and foremost question, the most question everybody asks would be, when will the border be open for international students? So I understand the frustration because a lot of you are stuck in your home countries. You're eager to come to China. You're eager to learn on campus as usual before the pandemic. But yeah, at the moment the border is still closed. It actually has been closed for more than a year because it's been closed since March last year in 2020, and then it is still closed right now. And then universities have all confirmed that for the September 2021 intake, classes will be delivered online if you are not in China. But if students already in China, they can get the chance to study off campus. So regarding when will the border be open, I think this is a question that I myself don't have the answer because it clearly depends on the Chinese government's regulation. It also depends on the future situation as well. I think there are a lot of factors that will contribute to Chinese government making the new policy about opening the border for international students. So I think right now what we can do is definitely only waiting for the Chinese government to give the official announcement regarding the border reopening for international students. And then other things you can do would be to still engage in your online classes. I know it might be boring for some of you, or it might not be that effective, especially if your internet connection is not really good back in your home country. But that's the only thing you can do for now, and also hope for the best. Hopefully the border will be open soon. Right, so other than that, there are a few other questions from the students, especially related to the scholarships. So the question is about the Chinese government scholarships. So for Chinese government scholarships, do you need any HSK level for applying? So the answer is depends. So if you are applying for the degree programs in Chinese, let's say you're applying for Chinese taught bachelor's program or Chinese taught master's program, then you will need to submit HSK certificate. Usually the requirement would be HSK level 5 certificate. However, if you are applying for English taught programs, let's say English taught master's program or English taught PhD program under Chinese government scholarship, then there is no need for you to submit HSK certificate because it is not required. Instead, you will need to submit the English language certificate. So like TOEFL or IELTS, you will need to submit these two certificates. And then another question still related to the Chinese government scholarship. So does Chinese government scholarship provide full or partial scholarships for bachelors using English taught program? So in general, the Chinese government scholarships coverage, it is a fully funded scholarships. So it covers free tuition fee, free accommodation, and also there will be monthly living expenses. And then so they don't have partial scholarships under Chinese government scholarships because everything is pretty much fully funded. But if you're applying for the university scholarships, or let's say provincial government scholarships like Beijing government scholarships or Shanghai government scholarship, similar to this, then it's a partial scholarship. And then anyway, for the Chinese government scholarships, these days it is allocated more towards the master's and also PhD students. For bachelor students, you still have a chance. However, most of the universities have confirmed that the Chinese government scholarships, it will only cover the Chinese taught bachelor's program. I think this is quite a common case these days for the Chinese government scholarships arrangement. So for the English taught bachelor's program, it's unlikely that it will be covered by the Chinese government scholarships, but you still have the chance to apply for any other scholarships, for example, the university scholarships, or you could apply for the provincial government scholarships like Beijing government scholarships, Shanghai government scholarships, and few other governmental scholarships available. Right, so even if it's not covered by Chinese government scholarship, you still have the chance to study under scholarships. And then even if you apply on a self-finance basis for the bachelor's for the bachelor's program in English, right? And if the university found that your application is strong enough, in many cases that happen with many of our students, many of our excellent good students, they apply on a self-finance basis, and then the university think that their application is strong enough, so the university is offering them the admissions, and they are giving them the scholarship as a bonus as well. So this is still possible. So my suggestion is, especially if you are still in the middle of studying your senior high school or studying your bachelor's program or master's program, and then you plan to further your studies in China, would be to 好好学习 in Chinese, which is you have to study really well so that your academic performance keeps on track, it keeps on the good level. Then you have a good chance of securing the admissions. You have the good chance of not only securing the admissions, but also a good chance of getting the scholarships. Right, so other questions, let me check the other questions. So there's a question, when students enroll in 2020 get their admissions letter and JW 202 in hard copy form. So well, basically ever since last year, because the border is closed, then universities are not yet issuing the visa form because they're not able to do so. So they can only give the admissions letter if you're accepted, and then the classes will be continued online until further notice. Yeah. And then another question about working/internship. So is it hard to find internship or a job as a fresh graduate in English? Oh, in Beijing, right? So is it hard to find internship or job as a fresh graduate in Beijing? So when it comes to applying for internship, I would say there are plenty of opportunities for international students these days. Even if you're not speaking Chinese, there are opportunities for you. But if you are speaking Chinese, then the opportunities is, it's even wider for you, because there will be plenty of options, because especially if you're working in the Chinese companies. And then when it comes to getting a job after graduation, I think that depends as well, because it also depends on the China's work visa policy, because right now the working visa policy is that you have to have either one of these. Okay, so the first one is a bachelor's degree with 2 years of working experience after bachelor's, or a master's degree. Therefore, if you only have a bachelor's degree without working experiences, I would say it's gonna be difficult for you to secure the working visa, and then it will be very challenging as well to find a job because you're not fulfilling the working visa requirement. So If you really want to find a job in China, make sure that you are qualified for the working visa requirement. And then another thing is still related to the work/internship topics. Can international students do part-time jobs? So this is one common question a lot of students ask me about it. Well, basically, according to the current policy, international students in China, especially if you're holding student visa, Chinese student visa, then you are not allowed to work. You are not allowed to work and studying at the same time because it is considered illegal. So whether it's a part-time job or a full-time job, you're not allowed to work when you are studying. But you can opt to do the internship. So international students is okay, they're allowed to do internship, but then once you get the internship offer from the company, you have to report back to the university. You have to let the university know that you are having this internship program for, like, let's say 6 months or something, because the university will then help you update your visa so that your student visa will have a note that you're doing the off-campus internship. Yeah, but yeah, internship is okay, but working, whether it's a part-time or full-time job, it's not okay at all. Right, so another question still related to working/internship is that, is it possible to study while working in China with a working visa? So the answer is no, especially if you plan to study degree programs, so full-time degree programs like bachelor's, master, and PhD. If you're accepted to this program, then the university will ask you to let go of your student visa and then then the university will ask you to let go of your working visa, and then you have to convert to the student visa. This is the case if you are in China now and holding a working visa. Okay, so if you're a foreigner in China holding working visa, and then all of a sudden you wanted to study, let's say, MBA or I don't know, master's in computer science or PhD program, then you have to, if you're accepted for the program, you have to let go of your working visa. You have to let go of your working visa, and then the university will ask you to change to your to the student visa. And then once you have the student visa, the policy applies that you're not allowed to work while studying at the same time. But if you're holding a working visa, and let's say if you want to study non-degree Chinese language program, in many cases, usually it's still possible. It depends on the university decision though, but usually it is still possible, and you can still keep your working visa while studying a non-degree Chinese language program. But again, it depends on what the university requires, so it's going to be on a case-by-case basis too. So, what else? There are a few other questions, I think. Right, so which one is the best university for bachelor's in computer science in English? So there are a couple of good recommendations in my opinion. First of all would be Beijing Institute of Technology. This is for English taught bachelor's in computer science. And then there will be Northwestern Polytechnical University, South China University of Technology, and then SUSTEC, Southern University of Science and Technology, SUSTEC, and then Chinese University of Hong Kong, Shenzhen, Xi'anjiaodong Liverpool University, University of Nottingham, Ningpo, China. I mean, the list goes on. So I think my suggestions would be you can actually check on our platform, China Admissions, because there you will find a list of universities offering a bachelor's program in computer science, and also in many other programs, and you can search it on our platform, China Admissions. If you don't know the link to our platform, you can simply check our bio, and then if you click on our bio, there will be links to our platforms, or like to contact us on email, or if you miss our events or anything, you can check it on the link on our bio to check our platform and the updates. And then let me check. There are a few other programs. Right, so another program is Guangzhou Medical School ideal for international student, and is it affordable? So Guangzhou Medical school, I believe this is for English taught MBBS program. Yes, they are ideal for international students. I mean, they're also open their admissions for international students. And whether or not it is affordable, I think that also depends on your budget, right? But roughly, when it comes to studying MBBS in China, I would say on average, the tuition fee would be about 5 to 6 thousand US dollar per year. So yeah, more details to it because I can't remember every university's tuition fee, right? There are so many universities in China. You can then check on our platform, China Admissions. Make sure to check it there. It's the link is very simple. It's apply.china-admissions.com/search, or you could just check on the link to on our bio, and then it will it will send you directly to our platform, and then you can check more details on our platform. And then another question is that when can I start applying for 2022 spring intake? So if you want to start applying for 2022 spring intake, actually you can start applying right now. I mean, you can start now by completing your documents, because there are sets of documents you will need to complete for sure. So you can start with that. And then usually for spring intake, the programs that will be offered are mostly the non-degree Chinese language program. And for bachelor's, master, and PhD, it is usually offered only in September intake. So if you want to apply for degree programs in March intake, normally there might not be so many options, or there might not be any options at all, because it's usually only for Chinese language program. But anyway, the application deadline is usually around December. So right now it is still July, and I believe you still have plenty of time. You still have 4 to 5 months to basically finish your application until the deadline. So make sure that you use your time well to prepare for all the documents you need. Then you can submit your application on our platform, China Admissions, on time, so we can also process your applications to the university. And then another question. I think there are so many questions for Chinese language studying as well. Like for example, how to learn Chinese fluently, or like how to learn Chinese quickly, or like how to prepare for HSK examination. So a lot of you are asking me this. So I myself, I am still learning Chinese as well, and it's been years since I'm learning Chinese, and I feel like, it's a hard language, but it is also an interesting language. And then the fact that a lot more people are speaking this language, it's making me more eager to be able to learn this language and to be able to master it. But yeah, anyway, there are some tips that I can share with you, obviously. So the first thing would be to use all the learning materials available. There are so many free materials available on the internet. You can also use it on the social medias. You can use it. And then there are also some Chinese movies, some Chinese music, which are easily accessible these days because of the internet, right? You can just log on to Netflix, for example, search for Chinese movies, and then, learn from the movies as well. But other than that, the other things you can do would be to enroll for Chinese language courses, right? Although the border is still closed, but students are able to learn the program online. Students are able to learn Chinese online, and I think even with the border being closed, it shouldn't stop you from learning as well. I myself, I'm taking the Chinese language course with BLCU, Beijing Language Culture University. So I'm taking the one-on-one course with BLCU, and so far I have to say it's been really good. I am enjoying my classes, although it's only once a week. But for online Chinese courses, usually it's quite flexible, because especially if you're busy with studying or working, you might not have a long time to work, a long time to study in a day, right? You might only have like probably 1 or 2 hours in a day, or maybe 1 or 2 hours in a week just to learn Chinese. So I think enrolling yourself in some online Chinese courses would be a good support for you, because you will be able to learn Chinese with the support from the Chinese teachers as well. The classes will be live online. Then if you have questions or anything, you can ask the teachers directly. Even outside of classes, there will be some WeChat groups with the teacher. So if you have any questions when you are self-studying, you can still ask, and then the teachers are like willing to help. And then for online classes, it's flexible schedule, and then it is affordable as well. And then it ranges from like group classes, and also there are one-on-one classes as well, in case if you like it more private, because then you can learn it more intensely with the teacher. So it's more of like, it is suitable for, for your needs, I would say. You can, and because of its flexibility, so you can choose which one would be suitable for your current situation. Right, so if you need some recommendations of like which ones would be the best Chinese language programs, because I think there are so many of it, you can check on our platform, China Admissions. You can just search online Chinese, and then there will be a list of online Chinese courses that are available for you to apply. And then there are a few other questions, I think. Okay, let me check here first. So which one is the best medical schools in Guangzhou for international students? I think there are a couple of MBBS programs in Guangzhou. Let's say in Guangzhou Medical University and Southern Medical University and Jinan University. These three universities are all in Guangzhou. And also, if you want to apply for this year's intake in 2021, unfortunately, two out of them, Jinan and also Guangzhou Medical University, they have closed the application period, so you are no longer able to apply, but you can still apply to the other one, Southern Medical University, for September 2021 intake. And then for MBBS program, they will usually be offered in September intake, so in case if you miss this year's intake due to whatever the reason is, then you have to wait for next year, and then you can apply for September 2022 intake. But for more details of like, what's the tuition fee for all these three universities, or like how can I apply, or like how long is the duration, or like where exactly is the location, or what are the documents needed and everything, you can then again check on our platform, Channel Admissions, for more information, because everything is available there. All the information you need is there on our platform, Channel Admissions. So make sure to check it out. Right, and then what other questions? Right, yeah, so the other questions are all about when will the border be open. So again, probably I should just re-announce it again about when will the border be open. So right now, the border is still closed for international students, and there is no new update yet about when will the border be open. So I think what we can do is definitely to wait for Chinese government's further announcement, especially regarding when will they are reopening the border for international students, because it's gonna depends on a lot of things, right? It's not just one simple matter that the government have to decide, because it depends on on a lot of things. So we can only wait in the meantime until the Chinese government decided to open the border for international students. So if they are opening the border, China Admissions will definitely announce it to all of you, and then the university will then arrange the visa and everything else to invite the students back to the country. Right, so another question, how hard is it for international students to get into Sun Yat-sen University in Guangzhou? Well, I would say that admissions is competitive, regardless whichever university you are applying for, but especially if it's like the very top universities in China, it's gonna be competitive. So make sure that one thing would be is to apply as early as possible, and then secondly would be to complete all the required documents necessary, and then the third one is make sure that you have a high academic performance, because for the best, or like for the top universities in China, they are requiring a very high standard. So make sure that your academic performance support your application as well, so it will be strong enough for the application. But then again, if you need our further opinion about your admissions or about your documents, whether this and that is okay or not, you can also contact us on email to apply at chana-admissions.com. I believe our contact information is available on our Instagram as well, so you can check it. And then, so if you have further questions, you can just email us. Right, so What do you think about Anhui Medical University for MBBS? I think Anhui Medical University is also a good university for MBBS. So roughly for English taught MBBS, there are about 40 or 41 accredited universities in China that can offer English taught MBBS for international students. So Anhui Medical University is one of it, and there are 40 other universities that you can consider. So for more information and detail, you can check our platform China Admissions. Right. And then how can I get a faculty position in engineering fields? When it comes to faculty or teaching positions, I don't think I'm the right person to ask, so it's better for you to ask the university directly. And then in university, is it compulsory to clear Chinese subjects? After that, only we will get our degree. So I think this is a new requirement in many universities nowadays. So even if you are even if you are studying English taught bachelor's program, usually at the end of the study, so during the fourth year, then you will also need to pass HSK level 4. But then the universities are also giving Chinese classes for you. So don't you worry, because the universities are prepping you well so that you can get into HSK level 4. But usually this requirement is not for programs that are shorter. So for example, master's program in English, because the duration is usually it's only like 2 to 3 years. So usually it's not going to be affected by this policy. Right, so about scholarships. Right, about scholarships, well, definitely there is the most famous scholarships of all, the Chinese government scholarships, or CSC. And then for the Chinese government scholarships, unfortunately, if you want to apply now, it's already too late because the application period is from January to March. So you already missed the application period for this year's intake. Therefore, if you want to apply for Chinese government scholarships, you can then apply for September 2022 intake, and then the application period would be from January to March. And you can check further detailed information also on the Chinese government scholarships official website, which is the www.campuschina.org. And then you will be able to get all the information you need over there because it's their official website. Right, so I got a pre-admissions from Jiangxi University of Finance and Economics, but I don't know what they mean by that. So pre-admissions is usually, it is an offer letter. So in a way, it means that you are accepted by the university, but usually there are some things you have to finish. For example, you have to pay the deposit fee to secure your seat, to confirm your admissions, and only after you pay the deposit fee, then you will be registered at the university. Then it means you are taking the admissions offer from the university. And this is for the self-finance application, because if you are accepted under the Chinese government scholarships, then there is no need for you to pay for any other things, because everything is pretty much covered by the scholarship. Right, so has Wuhan University closed its application? I believe so. I believe the Wuhan University application deadline was at the end of June. Yeah, for further information, you can check on our platform, China Admissions. Right, so for Jinzhou Medical University, when will they call us back? To be honest, I don't know, and I don't have an answer for that, because right now the border is still closed, and then universities are not able to give student visas if you're overseas. Universities are not able to invite you back to China if you're overseas, simply because the border is still closed. So what we can do is to wait for the Chinese government's new policy about when will the border be open. Right now, there is no new information about it, so we can only wait until the Chinese government announce about this. Yeah. So yeah, is there any other questions? Let me check on the questions you guys submitted yesterday. Medical school, I already covered that. And then how does one get into the top universities in China? I think this is interesting, but I might have already covered that. Yeah, in a way, if you want to get admissions at the top universities in China or any universities in China, make sure that you have a strong academic performance, and then all of the supporting documents you have to submit, like the personal statement, for example, a recommendation letter, and everything else that is required by the university. You can fulfill that and make sure that it is very supportive towards your application. Make sure that you finish your application on time. It means before the application deadline, because then again, Chinese universities are very very strict with application deadline. A lot of students ask me that, this is just like 1 or 2 days after the deadline, can you call the university to send in my late application? Unfortunately, it's not possible because Chinese universities, they are very strict with the application deadline, so you have to make sure that you respect this policy by applying on time before the deadline. And then, what are the other questions? I think I've probably already covered everything here. Yep. So, yeah, when will they call us back? Is there any guess? Whether it's in September, March, or September next year? I don't have a guess because right now I have no idea about it. But for sure, in September 2021, classes are held online. So the border is still closed for September 2021 intake. But for March or September 2022 intake, I don't know. It depends on the future situation. So then again, we can only wait for what happened in the future. We can only wait for the announcement from the Chinese government about it. But I have to say that admissions is still ongoing. Chinese universities are still accepting new students to join the program. But regarding the teaching method, whether it will be online or on campus, it depends on the situation. Right, so once I pay the fee and accept the admissions, am I going to pay the tuition fee before coming to China, or they will allow me to come to China before paying the tuition fee? So at the moment, you cannot come to China because the border is still closed, right? So if, let's say, you pay the tuition fee after getting the pre-admissions notice, then you can join the online classes. So guys, even if you have the admissions letter from the university, even if you have student visa stamp on your passport already, the border is still closed, so you cannot come to China in the time being until further notice. So we can only wait from the Chinese government's official update about when will they open the border. Right, so how does China Admissions work? So China Admissions is basically an international platform where we help international students apply to Chinese universities. And so you can check the list of programs available on our platform. Then you can also use our platform to apply to Chinese universities. And then we will basically help you with your applications from end to end. So this means you can use our platform to apply online. And then you can also upload your documents there. And then you can pay for the application fees on our platform as well. After that, we will help to check your applications and then make sure everything is okay, make sure everything is completed, and then we will submit it to the university and basically update you all the way until you get the final admissions result. And also, if you're accepted, we will still guide you basically all the way until you are successfully registered with the university. So we are giving you that help. And then even if, like, let's say you're not yet sure which program you want to apply for, because simply there are so many programs that you can apply for, then you can also consult with us. I mean, you could message me, you could email us, you could schedule a call with us, and then we will help you choose the programs that you want to apply for. We can help you choose the universities which are good for you, or maybe if you're unfamiliar with China, because China is so big, and then if you're studying in Harbin or if you're studying in Guangzhou, the weather and the environment will be all different. So if you're unfamiliar with all that, then definitely you can contact us for more information. You can contact China Admissions, consult with our counselors to help you choose which program to apply for, to help you with the admissions process, to help you with the whole documents checking and everything. So yeah, make sure to check out our platform. Again, make sure to check out our platform, and then the link to our platform is available on our bio. So make sure to check that on our platform. So then we can help you apply to Chinese universities and then also make your dreams come true. Right, so hi Beehive. So hi Petros or somebody else from Beehive. Right, so do you have special links to the universities? We do have cooperation with Chinese universities, and that makes our basic service is free for students applying on a self-finance basis. So then you can make sure to check our platform to apply to Chinese universities, and then you can use our platform to apply. Right. So what's the minimum HSK level to be accepted in Chinese universities? I think that depends, especially if you are applying for Chinese taught bachelor's or master's or PhD program. Usually you will need to submit HSK level 5 certificate. But if you're applying for the English taught programs, then there is no need for you to submit HSK certificate because it's not required, okay? Only if you're applying for Chinese taught degree programs, then you need to submit HSK, and usually it is HSK level 5. Right, so is there any other questions? Right, so when is the intake for international studies for BBA program, Bachelor's in Business Administration? For Bachelor's in Business Administration, it is offered in September intake every year. So I believe you can still apply for this year in September 2021. There are still perhaps about 10 to 15 programs in Bachelor's in Business Administration that you can still apply for. So make sure to check out our platform, or if you need further help, you can contact me by email or shoot a DM or schedule a call with me. So is there any scholarships for bachelor's degree? Yes, there is, but if you are applying for bachelor's program right now, unfortunately right now is no longer the scholarships application period, so you can only apply for the self-finance options for now. So if you want to apply for scholarships, you can apply for scholarships next year. Right, so I think we have covered all the questions, right? Okay, last two questions. Is there any entry-level test for MBBS program admissions? No, there is no entrance examination for English taught MBBS program, but there will be online interview for qualified candidates. So if you pass the review from the university, they will invite you for the online interview. After the online interview, then it will be decided whether they are giving you the admissions or not. Can you tell me more on Bachelor's on Artificial Intelligence? This program is available in English at some Chinese universities, but for sure I cannot remember everything because there are thousands of programs available in China. So my suggestions would be to check our platform, China Admissions. You can check on our search page on China Admissions platform to check which ones of the universities are offering bachelors on artificial intelligence. And then can you suggest some universities for BBA programs in China? If you are applying for 2021 intake or this year's intake, I think let me check some of my recommendations that are still open right now. Okay, I have to check first. Yeah, it's basically very simple on our platform. You can then it's gonna be like this. You can just write it. You can write the program. Yeah, it's a bit blurry, but I hope you get my message. Yeah, you can write the program, then you can even filter the result like that for September for bachelors, and then it will show you the result. It will show you the result like this. Yeah, it's mirrored, but anyway, I hope you get my message. But yeah, it will show you the result that there are still 15 programs for bachelor's in business for September 2021 intake that you can still apply for. And then some of my recommendations are like Sino-British College in Shanghai for bachelor's in business management. You could try Ningpo University Bachelor's in Business Administration. You could try Tongbei University of Finance and Economics Bachelor's in International Business Management. You could try Zhejiang Gongshang University Bachelor's in International Business. What else? And then you could try Zhejiang University of Science and Technology, Bachelor's in International Business, Shenyang Aerospace University for Bachelor's in International Business, and there are a couple more that you could also consider applying. So there are 15 programs that you can still apply for. You can check it all on our platform China Admissions as I've shown you before. Right, so if you haven't got a reply, if you contact us on email and if you haven't gotten a reply after a day, make sure you can resend your email just to make sure that we have received your email. Yeah. Right. So, what will they ask in interview? Yeah, it's answered. Thank you. So again, it's true they will ask basic admissions interview questions usually, mostly about yourself, your motivation to study in China. Because usually if it's for bachelor's program, the interview is not gonna be that difficult because they are mostly asking you about yourself, about your motivation, your expectation, and they mainly want to assess whether you are a serious student, whether you're a good fit for the program. They also want to assess your English language level as well. But yeah, interview process is still important even if the questions are fairly simple, but you still need to do your best because this is also one of the main determinant on whether you are getting the admissions or not. So is there minimum requirements for admissions in MBBS? So for admissions in MBBS, the minimum requirement would be to have high school diploma. So you have to already graduate from high school, or at least you are about to graduate from high school in the next few months. And then other than that, make sure that in your high school you studied biology, chemistry, and also physics, because these three main subjects are the ones that are considered for MBBS program. So if you're not studying any of these programs, right? If you're not studying biology, then it might be difficult for you to secure MBBS programs admissions because the universities will definitely check whether you have studied any of these three subjects or not. Right, so I think I might have answered everything, right? Yeah, I think I might have answered everything already. So is there any other questions? Right, so I think probably I've covered everything because it seems like there is no other questions. So yeah, if you have any more questions after this session is ended, you can still contact me. You can still contact us on the China Admissions team. You can drop us an email or schedule a call. I will leave the email address here, but it's also available on our bio, on the Instagram bio, so you can check there. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can email us. We are very responsive on email. So that's the email address. It's apply@chinaadmissions.com. So yeah, hope to hear back from you guys, and I hope this session is useful to answer some of your questions and also to answer some of your doubts. And if you are still waiting for the border to be open, I have to say don't lose hope. I'm sure the border will be open at the right time, and then make sure to get yourselves updated as well about the news from the Chinese government as well. You can do that by subscribing to our YouTube channel, China Admissions. You can also do that by checking the news portal or checking the other WeChat groups as well. So yeah, just don't lose hope and then do your best in your online classes, and I'm sure when it's the right time, the border will be open, and then all of the international students will be invited back to the country, and you'll be able to study on campus again just like before. And yeah, I hope this session is useful for you. If you have any other questions, make sure to leave me an email so we can then respond to your inquiries, and we can also assist you with the applications to Chinese universities. I think those are all. Yeah, so, oh yeah, one last message. admissions for September 2021 intake is still open at some universities, so you still have the time to apply even if it's last minute. So if you want to know which ones that are still open, make sure to check our platform, China Admissions, for the list of programs that are still open for 2021. You can also check our platform to get the list of documents you need, and basically all the guides you need about the fee structure, about the requirements, about the cities, about everything else. You can check it on our platform. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining this live session. I think it's been a while since our last Q&A session. So I hope it's useful for all of you. And again, thank you so much for joining. And also stay safe, stay healthy, and have a nice day, everyone. Bye-bye.